I don't know how long you're meant to go on saying Happy New Year after the actual New Year, but Happy New Year. I hope you had a good Christmas. And remember, please, that the owl is now operating. I will say something further about that as I get into the agenda proper. So welcome to the full council meeting. Public question time was due to start at 6 o'clock, but we don't have any members of the public here. So we'll launch straight into the agenda proper. And can I also remind you, please turn your mobile phones off unless you're following the papers on that mobile phone. I'll turn them on to silent. Yeah. Right, apologies for absence.
We have Councillor Humphrey and Kath Nesbitt.
Okay. Just for information, Kath was in hospital yesterday, but I think she came out today. So I'd like to wish her all the best in a speedy recovery. Any disclosure of interest and grants of dispensations?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I'll move on to Mayor's announcement. Can I just say, as we kind of embark on a new year, which is very likely to be an election year, I've been told, just a very gentle, polite reminder to everybody, please, just about the way we conduct ourselves at meetings and things like that. Council and committee meetings, as you know, are now recorded. Can we refrain, please, from making any personal references to individuals, whether that be from the county council, residents, or whoever? This is not the place to do that. So if we can refrain from doing that, please. Can I just generally remind people, and you all do it anyway, but I felt as if we should remind each other, just about general conduct at meetings. Please don't use your phone, as I've said, unless you're looking at the papers for the meeting. Try not to interrupt others who are speaking. Try and go through the chair, whoever the chair is of the particular meeting, and please respect the decisions made by the majority of those present and consider the views of others expressed at our meetings. And really, it's just let's try and maintain our high standards for 2004, whether it's here at council. Sorry, 2000. Yes. I'm going back in time. Yeah. 2024. Let's try and maintain our high standards, whether it's a council meeting or whether it's another meeting where you're representing the council, the town council. Okay. I felt it would be more appropriate, rather than tell you what I've been doing in Mayor's announcements, that we kind of look back on what we've achieved as a council, perhaps over the last year. So I've made a bit of a list of things. I'm sure I've missed a few of them all, but really the key things that I felt we've managed to achieve as a community council. One, we've developed 2 new play areas, Chestnut Avenue, Kitty Brewster. We've also agreed on putting in new fencing at the North Farm play site as well. We've agreed a tender and a contractor has been chosen for the new skate park. This will be the largest capital project we've undertaken, and that's to go near the Isabella Centre, as you well know. And we've also been successful in receiving various grants and funds towards our play facilities. We constantly do work improving our allotments. We've been doing a fair bit of work on improving allotments so that they can be re-let. And the work at Boreham Avenue has been agreed to take place on the lanes and the entrances and that in 2024. We've made good progress on our neighbourhood plan. We've recently focused on green spaces and heritage assets, and we're currently seeking feedback from residents, which will be by the end of January, by the 31st of January. We continue to hold our bi-monthly councillor drop-in sessions in the Keel Row, and I know many of you have managed to get along to them. We've made substantial changes, I think, to our social media offer through the council. We've totally refreshed the website. We've created a community database, and we've also introduced a new telephone system within the office, which is intended to make it easier for people to direct themselves to the actual, whether it's the town council or county council. We continue to work alongside our colleagues in Northumberland County Council and others on the Energising Blyth programme, whether that be via myself and Kath on the town deal board, or the various members who are represented on the town forum, and whether that be through presentations that have been given by county council officers to council meetings. I know that can be very frustrating at times, but I think, you know, hopefully things will improve, but there's certainly going to be quite a few things happening in this year. We continue to work with colleagues in the county council regarding our partnership agreement. And again, that could be a very frustrating process for those who are involved, but we are always striving to get value for money for our residents and improve our environment. That's the key aim whenever we're negotiating things. We've implemented our successful grants award programme again, and to date we've supported over 27 different organisations and community groups, and we've given out over £100,000. Following on from that, we had our first grants beneficiaries meeting where people were invited along here and highlighted the value of the work that they've undertaken, and they highlighted the benefit that they'd got from the grants that we gave out. It was a very good night. Team in the council have distributed 2 newsletters. I always receive positive feedback from lots of people about these newsletters. We've provided another year of free family events, as we always do, with an estimated 52,000 visitors at these events. So some of the ones to pick out were the King's Coronation event in the park, obviously Blyth Live, the Christmas events, which were slightly curtailed, but I thought were really good, given the fact that we didn't have the marketplace to work in, and our summer events as well. There has been an announcement about Blyth Live, well, the headline act for this year, if you've all seen it. Yeah? You've not seen it, Jeff? Okay, it's going to be Linda Spahn this year. So I think that's a good one. The other thing I wanted to mention about our events is, when we've looked at the budgets and things like that, all of our events have come in pretty much under budget or on budget, and we've managed to generate a significant amount of income from our events. So that's well done to the team, Julie in particular. We've taken part in the tree planting initiatives at Maggie's Burn, unveiled plaques as part of our heritage trail. We've obviously welcomed some new staff into the team at the office and said farewell to others. We've worked with the county council and local community group on the proposed community asset transfer, and we've agreed representation from the town council on their board of myself and Daniel. We awarded the first Blyth Town Council Freeman of Blyth Award, and we've worked successfully with NCC to tackle antisocial behaviour and fly tipping in a particular area of Blyth, i.e. the Coop Key area, through the installation of CCTV. The OWL that I mentioned before improves the governance arrangements that we have. We've also started to work alongside neighbouring councils and what's been called the South East Northumberland Forum to share best practice and learn from neighbouring councils the issues that they have and work together to try and resolve things, etc. Plus, of course, all the work that you've done as individuals, representing your ward, being involved with various community organisations, etc. So it was really just, you know, when you start to list everything down, we do achieve a fair amount for a small town council. So well done to everybody, really, members and officers. And I guess it just shows that when you can work together, what you can achieve. So well done. I thought that was better than telling you what I've been doing. Can I just mention one other thing that I wanted to cover in the mayor's report? We had a planning application. I mentioned the proposed community asset transfer. There was a planning application came in about the erection of 13 retail pods and the associated decked area down at South Beach, at the beach area, the Dave Stevens Centre on the promenade next to that. We've obviously got representation on that board now. We've had people out to discuss it. We know what they're planning to do. It was really just to say that, I guess, we'll all feel we need to support that application.
But
Yeah.
Chair, can I just propose that we put in a supporting application towards the plan application to say we support it?
Yeah, as a town council, we support that plan application. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Right. Moving on to the agenda. Item 4. Item 3, sorry, was the minutes of the 12th of October 2023 council, parts 1 and 2.
Move the minutes, Chair, as a true record.
Thank you. And no outstanding actions from those minutes. Actually, I'm looking at I do apologise, I'm looking at the wrong. I'm looking at the minutes from the last meeting. Apologies for that. Yeah, item 4 was minutes of the special council on the 12th of December. To note the minutes as a true record. Thank you, Grant. No outstanding actions. Item 5 was minutes resolved by the following standing committees. Nobody's raised any issues.
Chair, there was an issue I raised by email. I was told to raise it next meeting. It was on the environment minutes and the partnership agreements.
You have raised that, have you done it?
I read you. Just to say that the minutes weren't accurate.
Okay,
It was on the partnership agreement. There was no mention of the vote that took place.
all right. Did you receive that? Peter?
Yes, we did. I think, did you speak to Malcolm on that one? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I emailed Daniel,
Yeah,
said if you could raise it at the meeting
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Okay,
The thing is, Mr. Mayor, we don't need normally record votes unless a recorded vote is asked for. I don't think it was on the night, so that was in my reply. Now, I don't know, Daniel, whether, you want to ask for it to be recorded now or
Yes,
not.
Please.
Okay,
okay.
right. So it was a case of, can you just repeat what your motion was on it, or what you?
Let the minutes be amended on the partnership agreement to reflect the vote that took place on the night
Right, okay,
and to include the record of the vote.
right. Can we have a show of hands to record, who was for the issue and who was?
Can you just wait, I know Daniel, you objected to it, didn't you? You wanted to
Yes.
support it.
Yeah.
Did everybody else vote in favour of it? I can't remember. Yeah.
Myself and Councillor Erskine
Ah,
voted
right.
against.
Yes.
The rest of the members, it's all recorded on the video, voted in favour of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Malcolm?
Can I just ask, is that numbers or names?
No,
Sorry?
that's right.
Numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
No.
Because of what? Chair, I did ask afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was confused.
no objections to that? Record the numbers of the people who voted for and against. Yes, thanks for that, Daniel.
Thank you.
Normally, Mr. Mayor, if someone asks at the meeting, we will record it. the
Yes,
name
at the
vote.
time, yeah, that's normal procedure, yeah, okay. And the governance committee of the 9th of January, I don't think anybody's raised any issues about that.
Move the minutes, Chair. Move the minutes that received by email.
Thank you, Graham. Item 6, decision reports. Moving on, first one to cover is the precept. You should have a copy of that. Obviously, we had the governance meeting, on the 9th of January. The recommendation follows that meeting. The recommendation is that the council resolve to agree the budget and to fix the precept of Northumberland County Council for 24-25 at £1,448,766, which incorporates a 1% increase in council tax 23-24 as set out below.
I'll move the recommendations, Chair.
I'll second it. I was just gonna say that.
I mean, I can set aside some time for discussion if anybody wanted to do it, but.
Oh, yes, the only reason I moved it is because I want to speak to it.
Okay. We move the recommendation. Being seconded.
It was by councillor Foot.
Thank you.
You want to say.
Well,
You want to say,
you know, I just wanted to thank councillor Foot for doing his sterling work as usual. And since I've sat here and John's been in charge of all this, I've been more or less happy to go along with everything that's happened. The financial management of the council has been very good, and you can't fault the way that the budget's delivered, and you can't really fault the excellent stuff that we do. So, you know, it's congratulations all around, apart from obviously, I did sat here last year and say, we're gonna have more in the balances. And I was told by officers that would not be the case, but yet here we are. So I'm not sure I would tackle this. But I think I think you have to always go into the year knowing that we're gonna have more at the end than we have at the beginning. And if that's true, you just kind of need to, everything you do, you just need to bear that in mind. I think, you know, and it's far better having more money than less, absolutely. But we just, because of underspends, we just have to be realistic about how we accumulate money, because we do have difficulty spending it. So, you know, I'm more than happy to see that we've managed to produce a budget with only 1% rise. When you think how much the county council's gonna whack your council tax up. So that was all really, apart from, can we just have a think about how we might support the food bank through the year, whether we ask them to put an application in for a special grant or whatever, because it does vital work and it needs to be supported by us. And on the back of that, if they walking a dog just never does me any good, really. Is it possible to open an account with the credit union and put some, just to help the liquidity? So we would put out, you know, a figure yet to be decided would be put into it. And, you know, just like a normal bank account. It'll just help them, you know, lend more money to people, and we'll obviously get interest on it. And I'd rather have it sitting here helping the folk live than stuck in some national bank helping the people in Switzerland.
Can we look at that, Mr. Mayor, and maybe come back?
Oh, yeah,
to a
absolutely. I
report?
want to say,
I
I'm
don't
not-
think it's
you know-
something we can give an answer to on the night.
I'm not even certain whether as an organisation we're allowed to.
Yeah.
But I just think it would demonstrate our commitment to our residents.
Yeah.
Because it is a vital, you know, it's a vital cog in the social wheel as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So there we are. Thank you all very much, but do keep an eye on your balances.
Yeah, just to mention once, I mean, there were a couple of exceptions. I mean, £100,000 for the skate park didn't get spent this year.
I know.
There was virtually had a job vacancy for the whole year, haven't we? So there were quite a few items. But I mean, I'm quite happy that we underspend rather than overspend.
Yes,
I mean, that's why we'll have the governance meeting every quarter to check that nothing's going to surprise us at the end of the year. I mean, sort of monitor all the items going through the year. Now support the food bank. I think we may have given them all the grant already this year, and only allowed one, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was this
We
year.
invite them to.
We're happy giving them a grant in the past, but not this year.
Mr. Mayor, I'm not proposing anything. I'm just saying those are two things that I think with what we've got in balances, the vital social elements to the town, and we should be doing what we can to support them. I mean, not go mad, but just stand with them.
Can I just comment? I mean, there was a proposal, well, agreement really. Our assets aren't insured. So we have agreed just to say, well, there'll be £300,000
Yeah, more. Yeah.
in case we have any merger. So the balances might look a lot. But when you actually get down to it, the amount we recommended having reserves plus this insurance policy, it's not as much as what you would think, you know, I don't want to comment on that, but.
It is more than it was last year, as predicted.
All right, Brian, you want to come in?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, you know, the food bank, I'll probably support it. I've given, which, to Martin Law, I donated some money to them. And, you know, they've helped me out in the past when I fell in hard times during COVID. So, you know, if we can't look at it, give them a grant, maybe we can look at giving a percentage each together to make it a large sum towards them, of our council money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree it's worth considering it. I mean, myself and Sandra volunteer at the food bank, so, you know, we know exactly the pressures that there are on that organisation at the moment. And yeah, I have sympathy with Jeff's idea about the credit union as well. But as far as this motion is concerned about agreeing the precept and things like that, everybody's okay with that. That's been seconded.
Yeah.
No objections. And I think those two items can be for a further discussion.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Jeff.
Thank you. Somebody make a note that Councillor Reid when I vote. Should have asked for a name vote, shouldn't I?
Yeah, should have. Okay. Next decision report is the review of the CCTV policy. Malcolm, you did this. Do you want to give us a quick summary?
Yes, thank you, Chair. As you know, we always review our policies in May at the full council or the next meeting just after, or if something happens during the year. The CCTV policy, there is quite a big change in it, because if you recall, at the start of this year, we no longer rented our cameras from Rear Security. We actually bought them and we do all our own monitoring. So it was just to take the fact that Rear Security remotely monitor and the fact it's now just in the hands of the council itself. So it's such a small change for that.
Yes, Graf?
Yes, Chair, I'd like to just make a comment on the policy. In item 4, which is on page 3, the term in item E, it should be gross misconduct, not serious misconduct. And in item B, is that paragraph strong enough to kind of protect our clerk? I'm concerned about that paragraph. It just seems to be moderately weak in the event of someone questioning it legally
Right.
after the event.
Okay.
I think we should have a little look at it.
Yeah.
And ask somebody to look at it legally. Please.
Yeah. Okay. Are you happy to do that, Malcolm?
Yeah.
Okay. That's happy to do that, Grant. Thank you. Any other comments, anybody? No?
Sorry.
Just recommend, like, you need to recommend and approve it. So I recommend the council resolve to approve the revised CCTV policy with the amendments that Grant's just mentioned about the wording policy.
Thank you.
Did Malcolm want to say something?
Yes, yeah, all I was going to say was, in B, we don't actually have what you call a RIPA officer for the authority. I used to be one, but my permissions and authorities expired. And there wasn't a need for this council to have it. If the CCTV cameras were to be used against individuals, and we have done in the last 12 to 18 months, the police have taken control of that actual application and said, you've got to put your cameras there. So we've got that fail safe in that John Casely would authorise the covert surveillance of that person, but we will look at it. But at the moment, we are quite safe in that aspect, in that if anybody did kick off and wanted to sue anybody for us watching, they would have to take it up with the police. Plus, what we do is when we do have a camera on a targeted property, we have you seen on the television where you see a central image and the rest is kind of grayed out. But what we do is we'll put those grey images round. So it's only, so if somebody else says, if you're walking your dog, you won't be picked up on it. There'll just be the front door of that house. But we will double check that though. But from my experience, I think we're quite safe at the moment, but we'll check it out.
Okay, John?
We just come to the, I just ask that our enforcing officer is registered as well. So I don't know where that would fit into the scheme as such.
Who's that? Is that,
The enforcement officer, ours.
Well,
Rob,
really?
Well, we didn't know that.
I wasn't,
there you do. Yeah.
Did you want to come in, Grant? Did you want to come in, Grant?
Sorry?
Did you want to come?
We will still have a check though.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely, yes.
It's quite a weak paragraph
Yeah.
in the event of anything happening untoward.
Yeah.
Really, this is just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
If you were to have surveillance on a person who was completely and utterly innocent and their reputation was ruined because of something that came out in the, via the police mechanism or via any mechanism, that statement would not protect this council or the clerk who gave permission. It's about protecting you, Joe, not about.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Grant. I think, we'll look at it and I think, get a legal view on it, because what we do, if the police have a problem and want surveillance and want to make use of our cameras and look at footage, they come up here to do it, but if there's something happens that the person involved is innocent, to put it like that, we want to make sure that there's no blowback to the council. I agree, so we'll check that out.
Okay, anybody else on a trip there? No? Anna's, you've moved the motion to recommend approval of that recommendation. Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
Thank you. Item 7 is delegated decision report. There aren't any other business? There isn't any. The date of the next meeting, there's a slight mistake on there. It's actually Thursday, the 9th of May, it should read. And no part 2 issues, so there we have it. Short and sweet, thank you, folks.
Very much, Mr. Mayor.